already there.
Proverbs chapter 14. Verse 22 to 28. Oh, did I start that? I can't
Yeah, I
remember
think
if
it's
I
on
did.
the green and the red light's on.
Okay. Yeah, they. I couldn't remember if I had turned the recorder on, and it is running, so this it's being recorded. So Proverbs, we're in the book of Proverbs, looking at the wisdom of God. And we're 3/4 and the way through this chapter 14, 22 through 28. And then neck at you, verse 22, Proverbs 14, chapter 14, verse 22. Do not go astray who devise. Do they not go astray who devise evil? But mercy and truth belong to those who devise good. In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies. In the fear of the Lord there is strong confidence, and his children will have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is a king's honor, but in the lack of people is the downfall of a prince. The next chapter. That doyashwoni yin bahaisto ndayisita ndiyat ehi yin bahai huinzin ado anini be dahwalo yego na nish asko be ina ina itish at nete oi ya atike etia ahui dene doya dene tahuyani e 24 14:24 dene tahuyani e date in beba be e date in beba tahane nte do tahuyani beto akanya do hoshkal at ya adante ya adante nigo khane I ayitsizini yistayini nete khayochidi khona at loko khojilne bodni hi jidasin do naz bodni hi jidasin do nazni lies da ado khalchene yenne achiteno chehi ba kholondo bodni jidasin go ina khalla ina khalini at ako ebe anone billo bitsaje tashte do gal Allah konat ani bedne o akhayui ke be bahni ndete nebe o not le ko not ani atel I. Verse 22, will they not go astray who devise evil? Dide do ko de yindo but anigo yik akon da giz go be not dicht igi ani yo isok o yo isok kha jonila o do don't lese da nte but kindness di yin butsade o ahwin zindo ishatle and truth nini will be to those who devise good. Digin butsade o binat tiniki bikako ina josh iko bikako kwa ina josh iko ya akwage dineba jo bajo bako kwa ina josh ito le jonila abelache nini bi binat it elo de ni what digin butsade go bajnot legi benat tin de nan kwa ina be khadet elo le jonila. There's going to be two characteristics in a person's life that's committed themselves to the Lord and are committed to doing good, the things of God. So AI is good, that God approves of. The yende of niniki dikin stilag ni bikakotde yago. There's going to be kindness. You're going to be fair. You're going to show favor or mercy. And then another thing that will be evident is truth, nini. Or in the Hebrew, that same word can also mean reliableness. Faith, which also means faithfulness or firmness. Sakit ego zilgo has it becomes evident in a person's life that lives according to what God desires for them. There's going to be kindness and there's going to be truth. Verse 23, in all labor there is profit. There's profit, there's abundance in that. There's gain, there's access with labor. But mere talk leads to poverty. There's a lot of people that lead their lives that way. De geisje aan, nee, je de nesto, dos oog het eda donis, os dos oog het ego, shit has ada donis, listen go je de nesko, je ni nabela ischiko je de nesko, pasa honis donis, babelana tlisko da. Je ik in de dan. Nas nesto Janina. See, it's almost like a contrast. God's word sets out almost like that black and white contrast, the things of God and the things to really act and to really work. 24, the crown of the wise is their riches. Gideon God behot zande di lago yikakotes kai ela akhot ego dahayani di na hinta ayoya na kainati skida and dahun snagi they would give him a wreath to wear, like a garland to wear behind their ear.
Gold.
During the Olympic Roman times, it was just a wreath, like a leaf, that would say, "Oh, this person, they're a champion," and it was just a little leaf. Oh, what the hell? The crown of the wise, the ones that have taken God's wisdom and made it a part of their lives. In their life, it creates abundance, it creates wealth. The Yanani ba engage the lago. Bide go yo ego kwa na the yo ego ani jenigo bizil kal go big echo na jo lisko. The yende go ya kwanisin go. De yikitle. Ben na go na so da is dot ilko de. De be hosni jonila. And it shows in the person's life, it's like almost wearing a crown that encircles a person's life. Because they've taken the wisdom of God and made it so much a part of their life that God begins to bless their life and bring abundance into their life. But the folly of fools is foolishness. Nana shachugo digin God o inizgi digin la don skindanigo ashin sinigi it ego she ina nash it nigo do khosiadi joishne de lane hot ego tsedes kezo do khaya ya ye tsedes kezo ya do khaya ya chidolti wana so da se be hatel zindole got the net or khaniya da se bit ni ko ba yat khita see it shows in our life are we willing to take the things of God and make it a part of our life, because that's what will show up in our life. And if we reject the things of God, then God that'll also show up in our life. 25, if a truthful witness saves lives. I like the way the Navajo translation put it. Dene tahuyani e de ine de ini be ba kahani nete to ya do tahuyani be do ahaya e do. I was 24. Ni wa khanne ayit sazini yistayini. See, the Navajo translation starts dealing with the spiritual. Dohotin has on the yisazini has on the ye stato kahi jo e nini bahaneko the yin bits on it with the truth of God. It saves the soul. Nego hot out the yende ko bet nini do hotin the aden hindol nishko ebe ko ni hitzini ki yistato ka jo e yikha la nakhala nan zin the yin aita kam jo ni hisne shino kha shichen no kha shikat He's talking about the spiritual things of a person that within a man. The spiritual things inside of a person, the soul. But he who utters lies is treacherous. Ndecheshi biyochid ko naharnei nahagiz. Egeni na wat alyalti. Khela benatish lohla. Khela beyana hidenish lithla. Jo ya akwaaki. Your chi chop your chi na ne yichte nini ye hatot to nini is zini ye na chi stato kasen to yai nisinda o na lot ea. Verse 26, the fear of the Lord. In the fear of the Lord, there is strong confidence. In God, the fear, translated, it brings out the idea of reverence. In God, I've known people, in God, that they the sin go. Bina Chana, one of them was my chuche, what the eating, Jelena. Joe Curley. He really revered God. And he was a man that he was a Korean War veteran. And one day, he shared his testimony with me. Lily, church going on, he was they were stationed at Fort Campbell in Kentucky. He was a part of the first paratroopers. He said there was no gear. And they had to strap things on the hip. Found ways to try to strap ourselves into the parachutes. And he was one of the first paratroopers. He was one of the units that parachuted into Korea. His unit. And they saw the paratroopers coming in. The Koreans were looking at them go. And when the parachutes opened up and they glided in, the closest thing they could come to describe that was umbrella. So the Korean word was rakasan. And so that unit from that day on became known as Rakasan. And he was a part of that. He was a decorated veteran, war veteran. And Lily, church going to Kitty Anida. He said, I used to punch the walls, and one day church was I knew she was going to church. She left for church. I hit the doorpost. The Bible had dropped by the door. She left, went to go to church. I knew where the church was. I knew where she was going, but I didn't want to go. But you know, that day that I did that, it felt like I was getting choked. Like I was getting choked down. Then, when I saw it, I was starting to lose consciousness. He realized that he was dealing with a true and living God. Said he came to the altar, he knelt, he fell at the altar. The congregation came and prayed for him. That day he gave his life to God, the true and living God. And he truly revered him from that day on. And you know what he would do? Sunday, he would never spend any money out of honor to God. If he had to get ready, if he had to go travel somewhere, he knew he had to travel, he would fuel up Saturday. On Sunday, he would fill up his vehicle the day before. And if he needed a little extra, he'd fill an extra tank gas can. But he never spent money on Sunday. The day of the Lord, Yitisin ko ni ko yitisin ko. Missed it from that point on. He came face to face with the true and living God. We've seen him witness and preach and teach. That's what he's talking about. Reverence. God to revere him, to place him as the most important thing in your life, the most important person in your life should be this true and living God. Once that happens in a person's life, in the fear of the Lord, there is strong confidence. That word confidence, it brings out the idea from the Hebrew word. It means to trust or to have security or assurance. When you place God as the most important person in your life, that's what he's conveying. We heard about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were supposed to worship this idol made in the image of the king, but they were unwilling to worship this idol. Why? Because they trusted God. They learned to revere God. They honored God above all else. And they were willing to be thrown into a fire. But guess what happened? 3 got tossed in. But when the king looked, he said, "Isn't there a 4th person that looks like the Son of Man?" Jesus was there with them. And when they got him out, there was not even the smell of smoke on them. That's who you've given your life to. He's trustworthy. There's strong confidence. And his children will have refuge. John 1, we read it this week on Wednesday. You have the right to become the children of God. Didn't he say that, John 1? When we accept Jesus, we have the right to become the children of God. When you're a child of God, Verse 27. The fear of the Lord, is a fountain of life. It comes from learning to revere God, learning to honor him above all else. That one may avoid the snares of death. Abelage. Do ya hween ago in not abikis do gatan the abelage do a tihudo leahy. And that word snares, niniki, it's like a bait or a lure or a trap. We've all gone fishing. There's one that they call a lure, besh. It hooks them. Lure, Bishyat ego yatsit of Cosco Yata. A good ego a tinhit or leafy ni he not na nedo in he yet arjek or conich in stop or lake Janina. The Yendanko is Stanihi lost all lake. Chunihi dost ego. Be ni kindit no disto be chindi or ilone in a nando tinha it's arj it's ani lost or janina. What a benefit. On the oti yin bas dot a the yin there or be hot nagilan be kako hijina which is dog on the sorry. Verse 28 the KD. In the multitude of people is the king's glory. Not ani, not lehi, but the nature that all hayuigo, the she chibit it. But in the dearth of people is the prince's room. That word dearth, it means cessation or extreme end. But the nayan mahnego schobets astingo, but the nayan schobetsada nesnag or schobets abet the stingo, the lane tibet or nicht jonida. Bitchigo. Den chitoka. On the oting in Bash on the wisdom of God, the things of God, be kept at your castle, be kept away not your tickle, the Yendanko, bit, days in, but has a quiet dream can go through this strong confidence. On the head, the yin bebe hot sancho. Yinakin with a need in each. A hair long and corner. The yin bizarre beating Kriboyen, Thank you for coming and being a part of the service. Yeah.